Hello and welcome to the tutorial on our sign maker kit. So my name is Melanie and I'm the founder of Christian Craft Paper, and I'm going to go through how you're going to make this kit. So super excited. If you have not seen a finished one, this is basically what we're doing. Now you may notice that this sign has the cord on the top. So the cases were a mixed batch. So some of them are going to have the cord on the top and some of them are going to have it on the long side. I'm going to show you how to move it either way. But we have this version, and then we also, this is one of the Blessing in Blooms design, which is this kit right here. And then we also have the Words of Faith design, which is this one, and it has 3 different verses as well. So we have 3 to choose from, depending on which kit that you have. You'll also notice that I did paint this frame. That's optional. We're not going to do that today, but if you want to get fancy, you can paint it, antique it, age it, do all that fun stuff. But I'm going to show you just basically how to do the sign today. So these are the two, one of these are going to be in your kit, depending on which one you chose. Then you're also going to have your sign, your 8 by 15 inch sign. And then you'll also have our precision transfer tool. So I'm going to be doing one from each kit, just so you can get an idea, because the sign is reversible. We can do the front and we can do the back. So we'll put those aside. So these are the other designs that are left over from the first one I did. So if you got the Blessing in Bloom, then you have the With God All Things Are Possible, you have the Growing Grace, and then you have the one that I did in the previous sign here, which is The God is Good. So I think we're going to do Growing Grace today. And then for the Words of Faith version, you have the With God All Things Are Possible, which again is the one that I did on this side of the sign, because you can flip them in and out. So here I should show you the whole. That's obviously not what it looks like with the bow, but this is what the back side of the sign looks like. And then the other 2 verses that come with that one is the Waymaker, A Miracle Worker, A Promise Keeper one. I'm going to do that one today. And then you also have With God All Things Are Possible, so you can choose from one of those. So we'll do the front and then we'll do the back, since this sign that I'm working with today is one of the ones that has the cord on the actual top. So we're going to bust into this. Some things that you're going to need to grab to do this is, if you're going to add a bow, which I do have some scraps here, some fabric scraps, I'm going to make a bow today. Then you're going to need a hot glue gun. I got my cord all in the way here. We probably don't need to be looking at that. You're going to need some tools to help with removing the handle if you're going to move the handle. So I've got a flat screwdriver that I'm going to use to pop the staples, and then I also have the Phillips screwdriver because each of the signs has one of these. So we're going to be moving that around as needed. You're going to need your precision transfer tool. And then I've got some ribbon scraps that I'm going to be using for my bow here. And I do have the mini bow dabra that I'm going to use to help me with the bow. If you don't have one of those, I do have a link for it. I got mine on Amazon, and I have a link for it that I highly recommend. Unless you have an extra set of hands, I am not a good bow maker without it. So it's been a super good hack for me. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're just going to pop this sign out. And I'm just using the precision transfer tool because it's easier than getting my fingers in there. And then this part actually rotates, so you can just rotate it around if it's in the way and just pop your sign out. All right, so like I mentioned, we're going to do the front first. This is where, if you have our Surface Saver, which is our mat that has the whole grid on it, I love this for lining things up so I can make sure that I have things centered. So what I'm going to do is just stick my sign on here so I know the sign is straight and I've got it lined up with my edges here. And then I'm going to come in and we're going to center this one. So I know that this line here, which you can't see, but it goes through here, is what I need to center the design with so that I can make sure that I have it all the way centered. So these are super easy to use. We just want to make sure there's nothing on our sign. And we're just going to peel it, and then we just want to make sure that we don't touch anywhere where the actual black is on this one. So anywhere where you can see the design, you don't want to touch. So like on this one, there's a good spot right here for your fingers without touching anything. So I do want to make sure that I get this as centered as I can before I stick it down, because once it's down, it is going to want to attach itself. So I am just making sure everything is lined up as best I can. And I'm going to gently put it down. I think we're good there. And then I'm just going to smooth it down. So the transfers do come with this softer bendy tool. You can use this, but I did add the precision transfer tool to each of the kits because you really want to get in and get these rubbed down, because that's what's going to determine whether it sticks to the sign or it continues to stick to the transfer sheet. So we're just going to go over with firm pressure each section of this. And I'm going to go over it once, and then I'm going to go back through as I'm peeling and take off. I'll peel and kind of rub at the same time. Okay, so I've gone over it once, and I'm just going to use my transfer tool to catch the edge here. And what I want to make sure is that it is coming off nicely. So if you're feeling any type of resistance, go back over it a little bit first before you keep going. And the biggest thing in doing these is we just don't want to be in a rush, because if anything does stick, we can put it back down, but it might not lay down in the exact way that you want it to. Like our little dots could be off, straight lines could be a little crooked, which I have had happen. But we just want to keep working. And then when I get to each section, I'm just kind of making sure that it's coming up nice. So I'm going to keep going here. It's almost like that Winter Olympic game where you I don't know which one it is, but it's where you have to clean the ice before the thing goes down. That shuffle, I don't even know what it's scuttled, something like that. But we're just making sure that everything is on there as we lift up. So just want to make sure, see that corner wasn't wanting to come up as nice, and so I just want to go over it, and then there we go. It's that easy. So there you have your sign all ready to go. And you don't even have to seal this if you don't I don't seal them at all because they're just gonna hang. So from there, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pop it back in the sign. And then literally if you could be done right now. So if this was the way that we're gonna do it, and I'm just gonna pop a few of these down just so you can get an idea of what it looks like. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take this off from this spot right here. Let me scoot that out. I'm gonna take this piece off because if I'm gonna hang it, it already has this piece to hang it. So I don't need it for this particular sign. But I'm gonna hold on to it because if I wanna put in the sign the other way, I am going to need it, and I'll show you that in just a moment. So we're just going to take the screwdriver and just take it off, and then we are going to save it. So you could be done just like this. This is one all ready to go. You could gift it just like this. You don't even need to do anything. You could add a bow. So if we're going to add a bow, actually let's go ahead and do the bow first, so that if you're fine with this and you just want to add a bow, you can kind of see how that's done. and then I will do the back side and show you how to do the sign the long way. So we'll quickly go through here and make a sign. I do have some jute here, I forgot to mention that. I'm going to be using that to hold the bow together, and then I'm also going to be wrapping some around it as the center of my bow. So again, this is where, oops, I don't want a tail that long. This is where this comes in, the bow maker comes in handy, because it's going to hold all these little folds for you so that you can stack your bow. And then it also puts the ribbon the different directions that you want. So I'm going to do 2 this way. So you can kind of get an idea. This is what it's going to look like here. So I do want to make sure that my loops are kind of the same here. I'll pull this one a little bit. There we go. And then I will cut my end here, and we'll fix these ends in a minute. Then I'm going to come back in with a color, this bright color, because this one is going to match our one on the other side there. So as I mentioned, these are scraps that I have, so they are a specific length. So I kind of have to work with that length. These are leftover from kits that we've had. So again, I'm working with a specific length, so I've got to, I think I'm actually just going to leave it this. All right, so we're going to put the thingy bob, whoosh, popped it right out. We're going to put the thingy bob in there and then just jam it down. And then this is what's going to hold it together. Pop everything out of there, and then I am going to flip it to the back. And just tie it a couple times. And then I don't need this, so I'm going to cut these. And then we'll make it pretty here in a minute, but what I did want to do is I wanted to take some extra jute, and I'm just going to make the center of this bow. So I am going to be squishing it for just a minute, but I wanted a more like pronounced center of the bow, so you can see how I'm making it. Go. So hopefully I left myself enough to tie it here. So we're just going to double knot that. And then we can clip the extras there. Push all that out of the way. Okay, so we've got our bow here. Okay, so there's our cute little bow. And again, we can probably pull this a little bit more if we need to. does have some give in there. And then we're going to want to go and cut these lines, or cut these so they just look a little bit nicer. So we're going to go in from the edge and go up. On both of them. So that's going to give us the cute little tails, and then we'll do the same for these ones. And I do want these a little longer, so I'm going to come in and do it right here. Just kind of eyeball it. There we go. Okay, so now we have our cute little bow. So what we want to keep in mind is wherever we put the bow, especially for the two-sided sign, because typically I would put the bow here, which is fine, but just make sure like when you turn it this way, it's going to be like this. So I think I'm going to actually put it on the other side here, so it would look like that. And then we're not going to touch it now because I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do the other side, because this actual sign, the Waymaker one, is the only one that goes up and down like this. The rest of the signs are going to be horizontal, and so let's go ahead and do one of those. So before I do it, just for those of you that are like, I got it, I just want to see like how to fix it or how to make it so that it works. We're actually going to take the sign holder and we're going to put it right here in the middle. So we're taking it, we just took it off of the end here, and we're going to move it over here. So we just want to make sure that this plastic edge is flush, because we can leave it just like this and hang it just like that. And then I just want to make sure that I am centered. So I'm going to line this up with my surface saver, and I know that 11 right there is the center. So that's where I'm going to put it, because obviously I don't want it to hang off center when I hang it. So then we're just going to take it and we're going to screw it right back in here. Just need a little elbow grease. And then like I said, if I was going to hang it, I would hang it like this, so that you're not even going to see that piece because it's hidden behind here for you. And then since we're doing that, you probably don't want the rope in here, so you're just going to take, this is a flat screwdriver, and this is going to take a little bit of elbow grease to get these off because they are a little feisty. I'm just going to give myself some room. There we go. Just kind of, if you can catch under the edge of one, it will pop out. The wood is pretty soft if you can just get your screwdriver under the edge of it. That one worked well from that direction. There we go. Go under where it's bent. That seems to be the easiest. All right, I'm just cutting this one. And that's an option too. I just chopped it. So we're good there. I'll work on digging that out later. Okay, so now we have the option to hang it this way. So we're going to go ahead and we'll spin this out of the way so that we can put our sign back in. But let's go ahead and do the back sign. Now what's great about this galvanized frame is that this lip that you see right here is actually going to be under the frame, so you're not even going to see it. So we're going to come back in here and we're going to line this up. Get all my tools out of the way here, so that I can know I'm centered here on my mat. And then we're just going to pull off our design. So again, you just want to make sure that we're not touching any of the portions that have the actual print on it, because they will try and stick to your fingers. So I know I'm going to get this as centered as I can. And then put it down. And then we're just going to rinse and repeat here. We're just going to go through and get everything pressed on. Now this one does have a lot of little dots, like little paint dots in between the flowers. So we do want to make sure those are down really good before as we go through and peel this off. So we're just working our way down the design. And we're going to want to pay special attention on this one. Like I said, the paint dots, and then also when we get down to the squirting right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and see how we've got. Again, I'm just making sure that my paint dots and my letters are not coming up as I pull. Now this one is going to be a little bit easier because it has a lot of the design elements are all one element. You kind of saw that on the back when I flipped it over and it had the white parts. So again, as we get down to the letters, we want to be careful so we don't lose our verse there. And then I just want to make sure that I've got my frame good, and then pull it off. There we go. So now we have the other side of our sign. So again, you may have all three color or all three just the transparent. That's fine. I'm just demonstrating both in case you have the other frame. So here we go on this one. We're just going to drop it in. Push our little tabs down. You can see our other sign on the back. So again, you can do either side. I won't push them all down. We're going to rotate this back under because for this one, I will need to hang it this way. Okay, so now what we're going to do is let's go ahead and put our bow on. And so like I had mentioned, so our hole is this way. So we want to make sure that the bow is going to work either way. So let's see, if we put it here, be good. I just want to double check before we fix that thing. Okay, so we're going to flip it over. We're going to do it this way. So if I put the sign here, this is what it's going to look like. So let's go ahead and do it in this top left corner. If I put it this way, that's what it's going to look like. We can flip the sign over. And then this is what it's going to look like. Okay, so it's going to work either way. And that's what we want to make sure before we stick that bow, is that the sign is going to work either way. So I'm just going to put a chunk of glue on there. Is a new glue stick. I've got two that are combining there. All right, so I'm just pushing that down. And we'll go ahead and put the sign in it. So again, if you don't have the Words of Faith version, then all of your signs are going to go this horizontal direction, and you don't have to worry about what we just did about making sure the bow is going to work for both types of sign. That only is going to matter if you have the Words of Faith version. So if you don't have the Words of Faith version, you can go ahead and move your hanger. You could also add rope to this. You could add lace, you could add ribbon. So here we have our growing grace. And again, you can just kind of readjust, have your ribbon or your bow readjust where you want it. So so we have that one. And then if we flip it out to the other side, again, you're just gonna move your hanger to this side and then readjust your sign in it, and then you'll have it going the other direction. But it really is that easy. So if you do end up making one, I'd love to see your version. You can, if you post on social media, you can tag us at Christian Craft Paper. You can also send us a picture via email. I'd love to see what you create. But until next time, happy crafting!